Good afternoon. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We realize it's right at the end of October, but due to some internal scheduling conflicts, we had to push this off to the end of the month. However, the information we are going to present today, while simple, is extremely important, basic information that will help people keep you safe online. My name is William Hacker. I'm the Director of Information Security Management at Cal State LA since mid-2024. I have 30 years of IT management experience in industry and higher education. I spent the last 19 and a half years as departmental IT director at the University of Southern California. And while I was there, I served on campus-wide security and IT management committees. I'm holder of a CISSP, CCSP, which is cloud-based certificate, and soon an auditor certificate. Cyber threats keep evolving, and my job is the protection of our campus community and to evangelize cybersecurity. During this presentation, we will have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, please hover your mouse over the bottom of the screen. You'll see a Q&A button down there. Go ahead and enter your questions there. We'll answer them at the end of the presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Burhanu Tadessa, and I currently serve as the Associate Vice President for Information Technology Services and Chief Information Officer at California State University, Los Angeles, where I oversee the IT department and focus on providing innovative technological solutions that enhance the educational experience for our students, faculty, and staff. Since January 2024, the ITS team has achieved several key accomplishments. We successfully completed the implementation of a voice over internet protocol system that enhances communication across campus. In collaboration with Enrollment Management Services, we implemented a scheduling and event management system. Additionally, we implemented the FAFSA simplification changes. We effectively restored devices and systems that were damaged during the recent protests. Our priority initiatives for the upcoming year include the relocation of the data center from the library, which will optimize our resources and improve reliability. We also aim to upgrade the campus IT infrastructure to enhance our cybersecurity posture, ensuring robust protection against cyber threats. We'll begin the implementation of the common human resources system to streamline human resource process across the campus. As October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, I'm excited to share that our information security team is organizing various events throughout the month to commemorate this important initiative. These events will help raise awareness about cybersecurity best practices and empower our community to stay safe online. I'm excited to support the Golden Eagle community by collaborating to discover and implement innovative technology solutions that empower our faculty, staff, and students, ultimately enhancing their engagement and experiences. Go Eagles!
Thanks, Burhanu. Now, what is cybersecurity? It's defined as the protection of computer systems and networks from attacks by malicious actors that may result in unauthorized information disclosure, theft of, or damage to hardware, software, or data. As you know, there are many banking sites and sites that have your personal information on them out there. All of them need to be protected. Wherever there is technology, there needs to be cybersecurity, even including your thermostat, for example. October has been declared the National Cybersecurity Month. And throughout this month, throughout the CSU system, all the other CSUs have been evangelizing cybersecurity and presenting presentations from the FBI and other cybersecurity subject matter experts. 2024 marks the 21st National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. It was created in 2004 as a collaborative effort between government and industry to keep Americans safe online. It's intended to protect networks, computers, programs, electronic data from attack, damage, or unauthorized access protect you online on the internet. Why is it important? Well, computer use and the internet are parts of modern life. Embedded risks of computer use. Computers are interconnected and accessible through the internet. Hackers attack a target by leveraging vulnerabilities in software design, like whatever apps you have installed on your phone, your laptop, or your desktop. Abusing the common computer utility tools, which are built into every operating system, including Android and iOS. They like to trick victims into clicking on malicious links, otherwise known as the infamous phishing attacks. And social engineering, where they'll call you up and say, this is some important official, and I need you to handle this right away, and try to get you to pressure you into doing something that's not correct. Now, malware gets smarter every day. We have traditional malware where you click on an unknown URL, which is a web address or an attachment, and all of a sudden you have a keylogger on your desktop or laptop that will wind up stealing your passwords or accessing your banking information or accessing other personal information. Now, they've come up now with zero-click malware, where if you accept or read an unknown SMS or iMessage, it can actually install malware on your mobile phone or tablet without you actually clicking on a bad link. Now we have a video from the director of the CISA, which is the government entity which is in charge of security online.
Happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month, everybody. I'm Jen Easterly, Director of CISA, America's Cyber Defense Agency, and I am super psyched to celebrate how far we've come in securing our world through cybersecurity. We've come a long way in the 21 years since the very first Cybersecurity Awareness Month, but there is still more work to do to secure our world through cybersecurity. Secure Our World is a call for all of us to come together as a global community to protect ourselves, our communities, and our country through good cybersecurity. Believe it or not, if you have a phone, a tablet, a computer, or anything connected to the internet, you are a cyber defender. Being a cyber defender is within our reach with just 4 simple steps. Create and use strong passwords. These should be long and random and unique for each of your accounts. A password manager can help to generate these and to store them securely, making it easier for you to manage them all. Second, enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, on any account that offers it. MFA adds an extra layer of security because a password alone isn't enough to protect your most critical accounts like your email, your social media, and your financial services. 3, be vigilant about recognizing and reporting phishing attempts. Always think before you click. Be cautious of unsolicited emails or texts or calls that ask for personal information, and avoid clicking on links or opening attachments from unknown sources. Last, keep your software updated. Turn on automatic updates for your devices to ensure you're always protected by the latest security patches. I know that these sound simple, and they're incredibly powerful when we all do them together. So this October, join us in securing our world through cybersecurity. Encourage your friends and your family and your neighbors and everyone in between to take these 4 steps to strengthen our global cybersecurity. To learn more and get involved, visit cisa.gov/secure-our-world. And happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to talk about and elaborate on the 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Because why are we doing this? Well, because we watch what happens online very carefully here to protect our faculty, staff, and students. And these are some of the issues that some of the ways we see issues where people can improve. And it bears repeating over and over again, because sometimes there are new people here, sometimes people forget, it's all good to have a good basis. So we're going to briefly go over use strong passwords in a password manager. Turn on multi-factor authentication will be the next topic. Then recognize and report phishing attacks. And then update your software. Now, creating strong passwords, they need to be at least 16 characters long. Some of the things you need to keep in mind is don't use your name, your kids' names, your pets' names, or anything that's easily discovered about you. Don't use your mother's maiden name as part of the password or any of those types of things. Think of something that is, one, easy to remember, but two, hard to figure out. Make them unique. So if you have a CalStateLA password, if you have passwords for your banking sites, for Facebook, the social media sites, don't reuse the same password from site to site, because if they discover it on one of the sites, say Instagram, the bad guys are going to try it everywhere else to see if you've used it somewhere else, like your bank. Make them as random as you can, but you need to still remember them. Use upper and lowercase letters, numbers, at least one special character. For example, exclamation point or a dash or something like that. Use spaces for passphrases. Now, there's some entities that don't allow you to use spaces, but if they allow you to use spaces, use them, because one, it messes up the bad guys trying to figure out your password, and two, it kind of breaks it up so you can remember it. And so consider passphrases. Use a password manager. Now, what is a password manager? A password manager is, you may have seen them advertised. 1Password is one of the better ones. They're one of the issues with the password keepers in the cloud is they can be hacked. And it is true that some cloud-based password managers have been hacked in the past, and that opens them up to viewing your data. However, items like 1Password are very strong, very secure. There's the freeware called KeePassXC, KeePassXC, which creates a local database on your device, either your laptop or your desktop, and you can enter in all your passwords and usernames in a kind of a spreadsheet-like database that is encrypted on your device, and you can move it from device to device. So all you have to remember is one single password, and you have access to all of your username passwords. Very handy. And it'll alert you of duplicate passwords. It can generate strong new passwords. Once you have it in your password keeper, even if you've forgotten that password, you log in to the password manager, scroll down to that particular site. There's your password and username. Some, like 1Password, will automatically fill your login credentials into the website to make sign-in easier. And it won't fall for a phishing website, even if you do. And encryption ensures, like I was talking about, encryption ensures that password managers never know what your passwords are, keeping them safe from cyber attacks. Turn on multi-factor authentication. What is it? What is multi-factor authentication? Well, here on campus, we use mainly Duo, and that sends a code or a push, so to speak, to your phone or other device saying, is this you? And the way you first use your username and password, then it sends a code or a push to your mobile device, which is a secondary verification of your identity, and you accept or deny it. We've had some people that have inadvertently lost their password or had their passwords hacked, and they get fake pushes on Duo. So make sure you click, if you did not request that, make sure you push deny, and it reports it to us automatically. We are also moving to the Microsoft Authenticator app, which will have you put in a 2-digit code and say, yes, this is me. In rarer cases, if you do not have a mobile device such as a laptop or an tablet or a phone, we can supply you with a security key, which will provide the same function. It's something you have and something you are. And then in some instances, they move to biometrics where you can log into some iPhones with your fingerprint, thumbprint. Modern iPhones do facial recognition, so it verifies that it's actually you that's trying to access this information. Where should you use multi-factor? Here on campus, we have multi-factor turned on most sites, email. We have it turned on MyCalStateLA, and other accounts where you will encounter multi-factor authentication is any accounts with financial information, such as Amazon, which you should have it turned on there, banking sites, social media, any site where you have personal or sensitive information, you should use multi-factor authentication. Now, what is phish? Phishing is where people send you unsolicited emails to try to get information from you. So some of the red flags that we've come up against is one of the, I don't know, I wouldn't say newer, but one of the ways that they try to get you to almost panic and try to give up your information is, particularly on Windows, you'll be playing on a gaming site or other site that's been hacked, and all of a sudden you get a red banner across your Windows screen, or a banner, and then it plays a very loud tone saying, you've been hacked, you need to call this number right away. Well, what that number is it's a phone bank in India that tries to get your personal information. Another example that you need to recognize as a red flag is the sender email address doesn't match the company that it's coming from. Some of the things we've seen is they replace a single letter in, say, Amazon with a number, or we've also seen several things coming from Google Docs. And it's easy to fake the from email address. So if it's unexpected, please check with us. Any requests to send personal information, you will never be asked to verify your email. Never be asked to give up your username and password to an email. If there's some issue with your email or your username or password, you'll need to go to the help desk or log straight into CalStateLA and set your password there. Do not ever give it up to clicking on a link in an email. And another way to recognize phish is misspelled words, bad grammar, and odd URLs that can still be a sign of phishing. We have hundreds and hundreds of examples, and the bad people, the hackers, if you will, are using AI now. It'll make spotting these things more challenging. So be diligent. And truth be known, we had a email go out today that several students reported to us as potential phish, even though it was legitimate. We will take those happily because it means you're watching out. If you spot a phish, don't click any links that you don't trust. Just delete the email. Actually, we would prefer you report it to us. That way we can look for any other emails that come in through our email system. And if there's any patterns or trends, we can block them. Don't click any attachments that you weren't expecting or don't recognize. If it's an attachment, A lot of emails that come in with attachments are like duo sign. Those are generally okay. But if you don't recognize it or aren't expecting it, don't click on it. And don't send personal info online or share over the phone. This includes your social security number, your credit card numbers, unless you're on an e-market site like Amazon and you see the little lock symbol up on the browser, don't give it up. What should you do? Well, you verify that the communication is real and contact the sender directly through known phone numbers or emails, or you can contact the help desk, and we will be more than happy to help you. Like I said, report it to your RDT department or email or phone provider. We've stopped several phishing attacks. When somebody reported it to us, we went back and looked through Microsoft Defender and said, oh, look at all this, and blocked them all. And if you have Gmail, they have filters that you can turn on to prevent phishing messages from getting through to you. And lastly, unless we ask you for it, a copy of it so we can analyze it and see how to block it, just delete it. Now, update your software. Well, why? Well, back in, the early to mid 2000s, Microsoft Windows in particular had a lot of bugs that they spent a lot of time and a lot of money fixing. So that basically you need to make sure if you use Windows, make sure you are updated continuously. Now, if you have a managed device on campus, such as a desktop or a Cal State LA issued laptop, those are managed, and most of the critical apps are automatically updated for you. However, for your personal devices, make sure that your Windows is updated. Takes just a couple of clicks to get there to updates. Update your browsers. Firefox is known for issuing updates nearly every day. So kind of keep on top of that and make sure that you don't have an out-of-date browser. And if you get, shall we update now or reboot your system now, unless you're in something really critical, don't click remind me later. Just go in, save your work, and reboot your system if necessary, if it seems really important. Because if you click remind me later and then forget about it, it could leave you vulnerable to cyber threats. And as I said, for managed devices here on campus, we manage them for you. We update them for you, but stay vigilant with your personal devices. Like if you have a personal laptop, keep it updated. And even macOS will tell you when it needs to be updated. Your cell phone, your tablet will all tell you, I have an update. Please don't ignore that. Please, when you go to bed that night, just tell it to update now and you'll be happier in the morning. And where to find available updates? Check for notifications on your phone or your desktop or your laptop. Look in your phone browser or app settings. Now, the example we have here shown on the right is how to update a browser. Now, that happens to be Safari that's on Apple systems. If you happen to use Opera like I do, you click on the big red O in the upper left corner and scroll all the way down to the system of the entry that says update and recovery, and it'll tell you if you need to update your browser. Same with Firefox. Click on the three bars in the upper right corner. Chrome, click on the three dots in the upper right, and the same for Edge. If you have any doubts or questions, check with the help desk. We'll be happy to help you. And for any additional resources, we're going to put those links in the chat. There are a lot of very helpful hints there, and they cover much more than the simple 4 ways to stay safe online than I've covered here. But these are the basics that will really go a long ways to helping you stay safe. So now we'll go to a Q&A and we'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, we have a few questions here. The first one is, how often should people be changing, updating their passwords?
That sometimes is dictated by the endpoint. Like, for example, banking systems often request that you change them every 6 months. Some don't request that you change them at all. The maximum amount of time that you really should leave your password alone, unless it's driven by the place you're logging into, is a year. So once a year is good. Every 6 months is better.
Okay, the next question is using a VPN still recommended for everyday users?
It depends on where you are. If you're on campus, yes, you should use a VPN if you're using a laptop. If you're using a desktop that's wired to the wall, it's not necessary. If you're at home, using a VPN is required if you log into any campus services that that have level 1 or level 2, which is confidential or sensitive data on them. If you are at home and you log into a shopping website, normally if you see the lock icon on your browser, like for example, if you go to Amazon.com, you're pretty safe. Keep in mind there are some third-party VPNs that will allow you to log into like movies because they dump you into a foreign country. The thing to watch out for that is a VPN can only encrypt you from your device, laptop or desktop, and its endpoint. Once it decrypts that tunnel at the endpoint, you're off on your own. So if you're in a foreign country, you're susceptible, you're unprotected there, essentially. So yes, VPNs are good and they're required for certain things here, like if you have access to sensitive data. If you're on campus and on a laptop, I would use the wireless connection, secure wireless. That is encrypted right there. If you're off campus, then use the VPN. Particularly if you're in a cafe or some outside library, like a public library, always start the VPN.
Okay, the next question is using what risks should the people be aware of when using a public Wi-Fi, and how can we stay safe?
Well, like I just said, if you're using a public Wi-Fi, I would routinely start the VPN. It's called MyVPN now. It will change to My Work VPN next week, and that will keep you safe because what it does is it encrypts your information from your actual device, encrypts it all the way till it gets on campus. Once you're on campus, you're safe. So I would use it anytime you're off campus. On campus, like I said, use the secure wireless connection. Both of those will encrypt your information, so it can't be spied on.
Okay, the next question, how can we use multi-factor authentication and underwear on apps such as Amazon, online shopping, etc., that provides us personal data and credit card information?
That's driven by the endpoint. That by endpoint, I mean Amazon.com has their own multi-factor authentication. Google has their own multi-factor. So it depends on which endpoint you're using. Your bank will require you to like my credit union requires me to do a multi-factor authentication every, I think, 90 days and authorize that specific device. If you go to a different device, like if you have two computers at home, like I do, if you log in on one, it authorizes you with multi-factor. But then if I log on to the other one, I have to reauthorize myself. And that only lasts 90 days. So after 90 days, you have to do it all over again. But that is dependent on whatever you're logging into, whether you're required to MFA and what MFA you use is also driven by that website.
Is it still important to have an antivirus software on your personal device?
Yes. It is a little bit less important on macOS devices. However, keep in mind that Windows has gotten tighter and tighter and tighter. And the bad guys are now discovering macOS, and they're infiltrating there. And Linux devices are also getting more vulnerable because people are trying to hack into them. On Windows, you have, as a default, if you have Windows 10 or Windows 11, you have Microsoft Defender. That's a good basic protection, but unless you have a campus ITS security behind you, helping you check everything and poking at things, and I would recommend having a secondary antivirus. I would stay away from, might get in trouble for saying this, but I would stay away from Norton, McAfee, and those because they're not very good. And the one that I have used over the years that has been consistently reliable and relatively reasonable to purchase is called Malwarebytes. I highly recommend it.
Okay. If we
Sorry, and let me add one thing onto that. Malwarebytes coexist with Microsoft Defender very well.
Okay. If we forgot our cell phone for the secondary verification, what other option are there to be able to confirm, if we don't have our device? This would be for like getting into MyCalStateLA or Get.
Yeah, basically, if you have forgotten your phone at home, you can go to the help desk. Now you have to go in person because you have to identify yourself that you're you. And they can give you a temporary bypass code for that day. Or if there's, in very rare instances, we can extend that period where the bypass code will work, not to exceed 2 or 3 days. But if you've forgotten it for the day, definitely go straight to the help desk in the Palmer wing of the library, and they can give you a bypass code to get in.
Can we trust Google to save password and info?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, next one. Would you install password manager on campus device as a part of the common software?
I have. I use KeePass XC, and it's my go-to device. I have as a security professional, I have about 250 entries in there.
I think the question might be important to like put it into our base image in terms of common software.
That we'll have to investigate. That's something that is not done and right now. However, and there may be disagreement on exactly which one to use, because there's many different circumstances and different needs between faculty, staff, and students. And there may not be a one size fits all for everyone. So that's a good suggestion. We'll have to look into that.
Okay, several people are asking about how to spell Malwarebytes.
Oh, MALWAREBYTES, all smashed together.com.
Okay, is there a security threat from using QR codes?
No, well, not so much. Just be very careful at what site it leads you to. For example, if you read a QR code with your phone, it gives you a little indicator at the bottom of the QR code in looking through your camera as to what site it's going to take you to. If you don't expect that to go to that site, don't use it. But generally, if you are using a QR code in person, or if, for example, Duo is offering you a QR code to add another site to the Duo, that they're pretty reliable. Just be careful with them.
Okay. There are many online pop pop-up ad blocker, but how can we know which one are trustable and aren't just a virus being installed?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a sticky situation. There used to be one called AdAware, and I liked it for a long time, and then it started serving ads, even the paid version. So that's something I'd have to look up because, like I said, the landscape changes all the time. Somebody buys them, and then all of a sudden they're serving stuff you don't really need to say. So there are some in as add-ons to particularly Chrome. Now Firefox now will block ads automatically for you. There's a setting within Firefox to block ads. Unfortunately, some websites will refuse to talk to you if you have it set up. So it's available. It works really well. Just use with caution. Oh, and also Opera has some excellent native adware blockers. So I highly recommend the Opera browser. And if you want to download it, make sure you go to opera.org to get it. Let me verify that. Hang on, give me a second here. Because if you try to search it on Google and try to download it from particularly a sponsored link, it can be very bad. Okay, go ahead and ask. Let me research this real quick and go ahead and ask me another question here.
I'm getting a new iPhone, and how do I install Duo Authenticator on it?
Go to the App Store and look up Duo. And there are other Duo-like things, but make sure you get Duo, and it should have a, let's see here. I don't know if you could see this. Oh, no. Yeah, it should have a square green icon with Duo in the middle, and then just download it from there. And then they'll give instructions on how to install it.
Okay. Do you have a verdict on Ultra AV? I learned it replaced my Kaspersky's.
On which, I'm sorry, which?
Ultra AV.
I haven't heard of that one. Kaspersky used to be one of the top and best antivirals. However, in recent years, they've had some issues. Oh, okay, I was wrong. If you want to download the Opera browser, just go to www.opera.com. Like I said, the only the two antivirals that I recommend right now are Malwarebytes and ESET, ESET. They're good and haven't had problems.
Okay. There's a question regarding VPN. Is that VPN or BPM, or how do I access it?
Okay. It depends on where you're accessing it from and whose VPN you're trying to use. At Cal State LA, we call it My VPN. It's Victor Papa November. It will soon transition. next week to My Work. And you will download hang on, let me pull it up here. You need to download the Palo Alto this is for accessing campus VPNs. It's Global Protect from Palo Alto. So download that app and install it on your. That one works on Windows. I think it has a macOS app as well. If you have questions on it, you can contact me later. We'll research it for you. If you have a specific instance you're asking about, we can contact us and we'll research it for you.
Okay, next one. How do you stay updated with a constantly evolving cybersecurity landscape?
Yeah, that's interesting. I read a lot of security blogs. I have for my certifications that I have to take 90 hours of continuing ed every year for one and 60 hours for the other. So reading security blogs, going to the government cybersecurity sites, going to FBI, kind of keep in touch with the trends as they're happening. It's just matter of doing a lot of research and trying to keep a finger on the pulse of what's out there. We also have some third-party software entities here that help us. For example, Rapid7 that we have access to, that we can access. They will tell us what the latest problems that they're seeing. So there's a lot of sites out there. Like I said, if you have an interest in it and need any further information, feel free to drop me a line.
Okay, I think that'll be all.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for attending our webinar. Stay safe online. Thank you.